What's up guys, Danny Dela Cruz here, and today we are jumping into one of the most iconic guitar amps ever made. It's the Marshall JCM 800. First released in the early 1980s, the JCM 800 came about at a time where guitar players were looking for more gain, more saturation, and more aggression. Rock and metal were evolving fast, and Marshall answered with an amp that could deliver tight crunch, cutting mids, and that unmistakable British roar. The JCM 800 quickly became the sound of an era, from hard rock, punk, to thrash metal, classic rock. This amp ended up in the rigs of legendary players like Zakk Wylde, Kerry King, Slash, Tom Morello, Billy Corgan. The list goes on and on. So in this video, we're going to take you through some killer tones, show you how we use the JCM 800 in a real world setup, and how we like to stack pedals with it to push the gain even further. And make sure you stick around to the end, because we're going to show you how to properly dial a JCM 800 in so you can get the best out of your amp. So without further ado, let's jump into it. We're going to run you through various different sounds. Some of my favorite sounds with various overdrive pedals, stacking them, compressors. We're also gonna help you find the sweet spot on this amplifier, because from my experience, every single channel Marshall has a sweet spot, and we've dialed it in now, but I wanna show you how to get there in the first place, okay? So we're gonna run you through some different tones here. This is kind of where we're at. This is just the amplifier on its own, and we've got the presence at 6, bass at 6, middle at 6, treble at 4, master at 7, and we've got the preamp at around 7/8. The master seems to have the sweet spot around the 7 mark or 2 o'clock mark, and that's before it starts kind of overloading too much. So it's the sweet spot where you're getting the maximum breakup while still retaining that kind of tight low end. But anyway, super cool sound. Enough talking, let's hear it. As usual, these Marshalls are very touch sensitive, so super dynamic. If we take the volume down to, like, I don't know, 7, we're going to get this sound. Versus all the way up. So as you can hear, a lot of clarity. And then we're going to push it with the Cali 76, and that sounds like this. And then let's hear it with the Ryra Klon. So that's a very cool sound. It's just kind of like crunchy / overdriven tones there. I just like to push it a little bit with that. Okay, then next up, we've got the Analog Man King of Tone, absolute classic. We've got both sides on this time, going through the 800, and I think this is actually my favorite JCM 800 tone that we dialed in. And it sounds like this. Still got tons of clarity, but you're starting to kind of push into that hot rodded JCM 800 kind of classic 80s tone there, which is cool. And then finally, we've got the 808 by Ryra, and that's pushing the 800 here, and we get this sound. So a little bit kind of heavier on the mid-range here. So yeah, there we have it. That's with the single coils. Now let's hear it with some humbuckers. Okay, so now we're gonna hear it with the Les Paul. We're gonna hear it with some humbuckers. And I think this is where the amp really shines on its own. This is my favorite kind of isolated JCM 800 tone. It's with the Les Paul and with the humbuckers. And we're actually rocking the Riff Raff unpotted by Bare Knuckle, and we've got the Mule in the neck, again, unpotted. Amazing sounding classic kind of path pickups. So yeah, let's hear it. Cool. And then let's hear it with the Cali 76. So yeah, really articulate. I like that. It's got a lot of clarity, but it's also got that kind of, that juice as well coming from the Cali 76. Now let's hear it with the Klon, and we're going to start with the bridge pickup. Very articulate. And then my favorite, the Analog Man, King of Tone, both sides stacked. So yeah, super juicy tones there, a lot to give. And then last but not least, we've got the Ryra 808. Lots of mid-range, love it. So yeah, there you have it. That is with the humbuckers. Okay, quick thing before we jump into the next tones. We appreciate that not everyone owns a JCM 800 and not everyone is able to crank a 100-watt Marshall in their living room. So the tones that you're hearing throughout this video, well, we actually captured them and profiled them into the Quad Cortex using our full studio signal chain, including the Neve preamps, the mics, and the exact setup that we used when recording this amp for real. So this means you can get incredibly close to these tones without needing to dime a full stack in your home. So if you're liking what you hear and you want to get these sounds in your own setup, then check out the link in the description below. Okay, back to the video. Okay, so now you've heard all the tones, let's walk you through how we got there, step by step. So if we take a look at the amp, we can see that this is kind of where the settings are at. And that sounds like this on its own. If we dial everything back to kind of midway, which I think most of us do, it's not too far away from it, to be honest. This is what it sounds like. It's not bad, but actually it's quite different to the tone we had dialed in, even though it's not massively far away in terms of where the knobs were set. So from that, sounds a lot thinner than the tone we initially had. So I guess from there you start to push the preamp up a little bit. Pushing a bit more. And then in terms of getting that sweet spot with the master, push it to 10. It doesn't sound terrible, actually. Sounds pretty cool, but when you start getting drives involved, it's gonna start sounding a bit muddy. If I get that clone involved. It's gonna start kind of freaking out a little bit. And you can even hear how microphonic it sounded just then. So I'm gonna back it off to like the sweet spot that we found. Still kind of retaining its tightness. And then from there, it was just a matter of taste. We kind of had the treble down a little bit. Because it's a very spiky amp. And then we're going to push the mids a tiny bit, the bass a little bit. And I can't remember actually where the presence was, but I'm going to dial it in now. Sounding good right about there. So as you can see, You know, you've got to find the sweet spot, and the tiniest movements on an amp like the JCM 800 are going to make quite a big difference. It's quite sensitive. And then from there, it's really about working with that sound and dialing your pedals in to that sound. So something I've realized is not having the level on 10 all the time on the pedals. That's what I used to do, and it does work, but there is a sweet spot with that level as well. You don't want to overload it too much. But obviously, this is all personal opinion. You guys might do it different at home, and that's absolutely fine. But these are just kind of the tips and tricks and pointers that we've learned along the way.
So the signal chain is very much the same as what we did with Danny's EP. We've gone with that configuration because it works so well. So we're running the 3 mics in the booth. It's the 57, the 41, and the R84 ribbon microphone, the AEA R84. They're all going into the Neves, the Neve preamps down here. All in the 25 dB attenuation mode, just to get as much of the sort of saturation and harmonic coloration from the pre itself. And then we're going into the converter. There's a mastering grade converter there, and then into our DAW. So we've got the Marshall 1960s lead cab. Again, same cab we used for Danny's EP. Great sounding speakers. It's got the greenbacks in it, and we're running the Shure SM57, the Sennheiser MD421, which is off axis. It's kind of giving a little bit of sort of smoother mids, which is really nice to mix in. And we've got this beautiful AEA R84 ribbon microphone, which has been a bit of a game changer on this session. It sort of accentuated sort of the nice smooth lower mids in the room. It's not really like a reverb or anything like that. It's just like an overall sound of the cab in the room. But yeah, it's sounding really good. The whole setup's worked so well. That paired with, you know, all of the lovely outboard gear.
All right, guys, so that wraps up our deep dive into the Marshall JCM 800. Hopefully this gave you a better idea of why this amp has remained such a classic for decades, whether you're chasing vintage rock tones, tight metal rhythms, or just unmistakable Marshall crunch. The JCM 800 really is one of the all-time greats. And again, if you like the tones that you heard throughout the video, make sure that you check out the link in the description below to grab the Quad Cortex captures of this exact amp and signal chain. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what amp you want us to cover next. And on that note, we'll see you next time.